We have a place. We belong.
Reverend Robert Cooke thought he knew all about suicide through his work as an Anglican priest at St. Mark's Church, comforting families, performing funerals for those who made that fateful decision. But Reverend Cooke gained a new perspective when suicide became a terrible reality in his own life. His 75-year-old father killed himself last fall, something Reverend Cooke revealed in a Facebook blog.
On Wednesday, September 6th, somewhere around 8 in the morning, my father got out of bed, put out the garbage, took out some squid for supper, went out to his shed, took 2 pieces of old scrap rope he had tied together, and took his own life. I am a survivor of suicide.
Such a personal thing to talk about. Why did you feel compelled to talk about this?
I'm a big believer in conversation, and I believe that the more we talk about things, especially things like mental illness and suicide, that we overcome the stigma that's often attached to mental illness. Almost immediately after my father died, when I returned home to take care of his affairs, people were saying to me, especially men his age, I struggle with mental illness, with depression too, and I've had the same dark thoughts that your father had. And we've come a long way as a society, as a church, and being able to talk about these things, but we still have a ways to go.
Tell me a little bit about your father.
My dad was a really great person, wonderful sense of humor. He had this great laugh where he would throw his head back, mouth open, and laugh, and was great at teasing people and getting people to laugh and breaking down barriers with people. And a very kind and hospitable person. If you walked into his house, whatever was in the house, in the fridge, whatever was yours, just a really good, kind, compassionate person who was always appeared to be very happy and very carefree.
But obviously he wasn't.
Yeah.
Underneath, were there any signs that you could see?
It was only after the fact that there were things that I look back now and I could see that something wasn't right. He was always a very anxious person, couldn't deal with stress very well, conflict very well. And as much as he was an outgoing type of person, in certain situations he couldn't cope. And sometimes he would make comments to me about life that I just kind of dismissed. But looking back, I think this is something he always struggled with.
Was there at any point help that was given?
We were able to convince him to go see his family doctor. He went at least twice. Was given some medication. I don't think he took the medication properly. And actually, he died a couple of days before he was supposed to go back to the doctor, where my hope was that he was going to be hospitalized. But he never made it.
How resistant do you think he really was, in his mind, to reaching out for help?
I think he was really afraid of showing any sign of weakness. So I don't think it was in his nature to ask for help. And he was always the type of person to take care of everybody else. And I just don't think he was able, especially at the end, to be able to ask for help or to even receive help when it was offered, because a lot of people were offering help. But it was like he had just shut down.
Have you wondered what he was thinking about?
Every day. Well, I can only imagine the pain that he was going through. And one of my biggest struggles that I have with all of this is that he was alone when he died, that mental illness robbed him of his time with his family to say goodbye, to say that we love you, to say that it's okay for you to go, you've lived a good life. He was robbed of that, and his family was robbed of that. And that's something I'll always, always carry with me.
Just wondering, do you forgive him for what he did?
Completely, yes. I miss him terribly. I wish he was still here. But I have no anger in my heart towards him at all.
And how about you? Have you forgiven yourself?
That's taken a bit longer, because I think people's instinct in these kinds of situations is to blame yourself, to wonder, is there something I could have done differently, something I could have said differently, and it's taking longer, but I'm getting there.
At the end of your post to Facebook, you said you wished that you had something very profound to say, but you didn't feel that you did. You had a message, though.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind reading that for us?
Life is too fragile and short, no matter how long you live. If you struggle with any kind of mental illness, and let's be honest, most of us do at some point, then ask for help. You are not alone. We are all survivors, so let's take care of each other.
Thank you so much, Reverend Robert Cooke.
Thank you.